I know everything seems a little strange these days, but you're not imagining it. America's so-called allies, they're falling apart. Europe's busy lecturing itself into irrelevance. Mexico, they're smiling while hedging their bets. And China, they talk about rising, but their banks are falling apart. And right now, something is happening just above the U.S. border that could reshape the whole continent. 2 Canadian provinces, Alberta and Saskatchewan, are pulling away from Ottawa. Not with tanks or tweets, but with oil, with farmland, with votes, and with intent. Because when the federal government changes hands and your new prime minister is a former banker, things get real fast. And the people of the prairies, they're not having it. You know what? They're done funding Eastern Canada's spending habits. They're done being told their oil is evil while they take the money. They're done watching their wealth flow out while their industries get regulated into oblivion. And now, with Trump back in office and Canada deep in a trade war, it's not hard to see the next step forming. Hey, it's Frank with America's Geopolitics. If you're sick of the bullshit and ready for straight talk, subscribe to America's Geopolitics. Now let's break it down. Alberta and Saskatchewan aren't talking about leaving Canada for attention. They're preparing to move on. Economically, culturally, and strategically. They just haven't said it out loud yet. Well, at least not till 2026. Well, let's go back. A few months ago, Alberta passed a vote demanding full provincial control of its natural resources, land use, and taxation powers. It wasn't just symbolic, it was legally binding. Then Saskatchewan backed them up, demanding a new deal with Ottawa and more independence over agriculture, industry, and energy. And what did Ottawa do? It handed power to Mark Carney, a World Economic Forum insider, the exact kind of elite banker Albertans don't trust. So now you got 2 provinces sitting on an ocean of oil and acres of farmland, watching Trudeau get replaced by someone even more globalist, more centralized, more polished, and more disconnected from rural Canada than ever before. That's some bullshit. Let's be blunt. They're not begging to be heard anymore. They're looking south. That's right. Say hello from the U.S. Because while Carney lectures the world about inclusive finance, Alberta is trying to get pipelines built. While Carney pushes net zero fantasies, Saskatchewan is feeding the world and mining uranium. And while Canada slaps American products with retaliatory tariffs, these 2 provinces are calculating how fast they can build new routes through the U.S. And here's where this gets strategic. Alberta has the world's 3rd largest oil. Saskatchewan controls 1/3 of the planet's potash, essential for fertilizer. They grow wheat, mine uranium, export beef. They aren't just surviving the collapse of globalism. They're positioned to dominate in a post-global era. But they're stuck. Landlocked, chained to a federal government that blocks pipeline expansion and punishes them for producing what the world actually needs. Now, Trump's back. And within his first 100 days, he's reignited the U.S.-Canada trade war. Hit Canada with 25% tariffs, slapped a 10% penalty on Canadian energy exports, and joked more than once that Canada should become the 51st state. Yeah, the media lost its mind. Mark Carney called it offensive. But Alberta, Saskatchewan, they weren't laughing at the joke. They were wondering if maybe it made sense. Because what are they getting from Ottawa now? Higher taxes? Carbon restrictions? And a prime minister who thinks he can solve geopolitical tensions with central banking metrics. What could they get from Washington? Access to American port, U.S. energy infrastructure, military cooperation, and a trade partner who actually wants their resources. Let's not be naive. They don't need to become U.S. states, but they don't need to stay politically chained to a government that sees them as a problem either. This isn't annexation, it's alignment. And Trump, he needs a win. He needs something big, something fast, and something that proves that his economic model works without relying on foreign appeasement. He's not going to get that from Paris or Berlin. He's not going to get it from Beijing and Mexico. Too slow, too conflicted. But Alberta and Saskatchewan, they're ready. The groundwork's already there. There are major rail corridors running south, pipeline projects on the table, cross-border investment plans waiting for someone with the guts to sign off. What we're watching is the quiet collapse of Canadian unity and the beginning of continental realignment around resources, geography, and raw survival. Because while Mark Carney wants Canada to fit neatly into global financial systems, the prairies, they want something else. They want to feed the world, they want to fuel the future, and they want to work with a country that values what they produce. Trump's second term may be remembered for a lot of things, but if he plays his cards right, he could go down as the president who finally turned America's northern border into a real strategic advantage. Here's the question. Should America step in and make this official? Should we stop pretending global alliances matter and start building the regional ones that actually do? Let me know in the comments. And while you're down there, hit like, subscribe, and slap the notification bell. Because while old alliances burn down, we're already watching the next ones rise. Big thanks to our sponsor, W Energy. No sugar, no nonsense, no bullshit. Just clean, crash-free energy to get you through your shift, your shoot, your hustle, or your geopolitical rabbit hole. Use the link in the description and grab 10% off with the code. This is Frank for America's Geopolitics.